Google and T-Mobile recently formed a partnership. This could be devastating news for Fubo. I'm going to be telling you exactly how I plan to play Fubo from this point on. I'm going to be telling you if I'm concerned about this. I'll be telling you if you should be concerned about this. This is a video you're definitely not going to want to miss. So stick around because we're going to be starting right now. Hey, what's going on? It's Pat from Top Ticker Trades. If you're new here and you want to learn how to use stocks and options to make your portfolio go parabolic, make sure you start now by subscribing and tapping that bell so you never miss an upload. What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to yet another Fubo video. This is the official Fubo channel. That's right. I said it before. I'm saying it again. Everything you need to know about Fubo, well, we're going to be talking about it here. We're going to be talking about it today. We're going to be discussing Google. We're going to be talking about T-Mobile. And we're going to be talking about how the Google and T-Mobile partnership is going to affect Fubo's stock. I know that's going to have an effect on your pockets. So the implications here that Motley Fool made, well, they're kind of scary to say the least. We need to talk about them. But before we even start, ladies and gentlemen, and before I forget, please go ahead and smash that like button because it greatly helps out this channel, and I want as many people as possible to watch this video. But without any further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So we've got a bear case from Fubo, and this is according to some news that came out not too long ago. It sounds pretty dadgum serious. It basically pits Fubo against competitors like Google, like T-Mobile. This is something that we need to talk about. This is something that's bringing about concern from investors, in addition to the concern that we already have about other competition, such as DraftKings and their partnership with Dish. So we need to talk about this. We need to talk about how it's going to affect Fubo. We first need to talk about T-Mobile, and this is the deal with T-Mobile. So last November, T-Mobile decided to get into the live TV business with the launch of their new internet-based streaming service. This, of course, was called T-Vision. It was launched on November 1st of 2020, and this is your traditional over-the-top streaming service that simply streams live television over the internet. So just like YouTube TV, Hulu's live TV service, Sling TV, and, our very own Fubo TV. So this is a service that is very much comparable to AT&T TV. And it sounds very concerning, doesn't it? Well, there's no need to be concerned because T-Vision, T-Mobile's live TV service, is actually going to be discontinued. So that's good news for Fubo TV, right? Or am I wrong? Well, the bear case here, and the person that presents the bear case here, or maybe the company that presents the bear case here, would be Motley Fool, and they're saying that this discontinuation of T-Vision is actually something to be concerned about when we're speaking about Fubo. We're getting rid of a competitor here, so why would this be bad for Fubo? Well, the argument is, okay, and you guys can read this article on your own independently if that's what you would like, but I'm going to kind of give you a little summary of what this author believes is a problem for Fubo. And he makes 2 points. One of these points is this: T-Vision didn't last but about 6 months, okay? So I believe that the implication here is that if a company with more money and, obviously a company that's been around longer isn't able to make it in this industry, then how is this new guy, relatively new company, going to make it? So Motley Fool here makes a pretty darn good argument. If this bigger company that's much older than Fubo, has a lot more money than Fubo, can't make it, how in the world is Fubo going to make it? But here's something that we need to consider about this industry in general. A lot of companies, most companies that are competing in this space, aren't really competing because this is their main source of revenue for that specific company. And the article does mention this as well, but they don't have the same outlook on this as I do, so I'm kind of going to give my own biased opinion here. They're doing this because they're wanting to highlight some of their other services. It complements some of their other services, so they're taking a loss or maybe breaking even on one part of the business in order to pretty much bring customers to the other part of the business. And sometimes this has to do with customer acquisition. and it pretty much gets chalked up into being customer acquisition costs. So it all depends on, how many new customers can they lock in, how many old customers can the company retain by offering this. For T-Vision, obviously, it's unknown whether or not they would have been profitable. They weren't profitable at the time, or they aren't profitable now. They're going to discontinue the service, so we don't know how that would have turned out for them. But what we do know is that they're discontinuing their service, and they're doing this because they're pretty much forming a partnership with Google. And by forming this partnership with Google, and it makes a lot of sense, this partnership that they're forming with Google, because they're going to ditch all the costs associated with maintaining one of these streaming platforms simply by allowing YouTube TV to replace that for them, to take place of what T-Vision was doing. So this partnership with Google, it really gives both companies an advantage, okay? It gives an advantage to T-Mobile. It allows them to save some money but still accomplish what they intended to accomplish in the first place by owning or maintaining a streaming platform. And also at the same time, it helps Google out because it's bringing more clients to YouTube TV. Another concern, and this is the second point that I'm going to reference from this article that the author made, is that YouTube TV was already like one of the major competitors in this space. This was like a competitor that really stands out. It's one of the more dominant competitors, and now this competitor is going to be a lot stronger due to this partnership. So this is good in many ways for the two companies combining, but not so good for companies such as Fubo and some other competitors in this space. After all, they're partnering with frickin' Google, man. Google is a frickin' powerhouse, any way you want to look at it. My question to you is, should you be concerned about this partnership? So, first and foremost, allow me to say this. There comes a time in every YouTuber's career where you have to make an important decision, where you have to consider that, you've been putting out videos saying certain things about, certain stocks, and you have to make a decision based on things changing for the stock, things changing for that particular company, and you have to make a decision. Should you, take back everything you've said to your subscribers and tell them, hey, listen, I was wrong, or, I may not have been wrong, but something changed fundamentally for this company, or something changed for this company, so now I have to, we have to do this instead. And when faced with situations like this, it's always hard because you've been preaching about a certain company for so long, you really like it, and then you have to break the news to everybody. So let me say this is not one of those moments. I have not changed my mind about Fubo. I do not care what this author says. Now, here's another thing that I have to address, because I know that you guys were probably, some of you guys caught on earlier, and I did this on purpose and haven't said anything about this on purpose and let myself go on being wrong. But if you guys saw my video from yesterday, then you probably kind of knew what I was doing here, or maybe, I don't know what you were thinking, but here's the deal. So when I started talking about this particular article, notice that I kept saying, yeah, Motley Fool put this article out, according to Motley Fool. So let me address this. First of all, it's not Motley Fool that's putting this information out. Motley Fool is a website. A lot of the articles that they put out are written by authors that are independent, that have actually nothing to do with the company. I don't know exactly what the qualifications are in order for somebody to be able to publish articles to the website. But I know that these articles, the website allows it, the company allows it, because of SEO and internet marketing, or for SEO and internet marketing reasons. And SEO, for those that don't know, stands for search engine optimization. We all know that Motley Fool provides services. And what's ironic here and this is one of the reasons that I did this, is that the Motley Fool, they have a service where they offer alerts. Now, I don't know the difference between the different alerts that they provide. I know that one of these alerts is called something like the double down alert, and I don't know if this is the one that I'm going to be referencing here, but I do know that Fubo was considered a buy by Motley Fool. They put out some type of alert. I don't know if it's the double down alert or whatever they call it because I'm not subscribed, but they put it out a few months ago. And this was kind of like a, common known, this was kind of known all across YouTube. I saw other YouTubers reporting on it. So that's the reason that I said, hey, Motley Fool just reported this, which is taking a look at Fubo in a negative manner. And the reason that I, did this and used the Motley Fool name is because I wanted you guys to think a little bit and think about your DD and the research that you do whenever you're doing it, okay? If you're researching something online, you have to be aware of these types of things. For example, that independent writers participate in publishing articles on the Motley Fool website, okay? Because if you guys hadn't known this, you would have been under the impression that, okay, this guy works for Motley Fool, or this is Motley Fool saying this. That's incorrect. Now, some of you that have been trading stocks for a while or investing for a while already know this, but to my newer subscribers, newer members of my family, you guys may not have been familiar with that, so that's one reason I'm putting this out right now. You have to be careful where you get your information from because a lot of these articles are paid for. I'm not saying Motley Fool's articles are, but a lot of these other sites, they get paid by the actual company to publish these articles. They're called press releases, so do be aware of that. Obviously, if a company is paying a website or some other service in order for them to release articles or press releases about them, then they're not going to put anything negative in there about themselves. In other terms, these articles that you may be reading and that you're probably that are probably popping up as number 1 or 2 or 3 at least on the very first page of Google or whatever search engine you're using, these articles are biased, okay? And they're biased because the company obviously is writing them and then paying to have them published. Now, this is typical. A lot of different companies do this. Just about pretty much every company does this. So be aware of that. You want to find different sources. You don't want to just look for the positives. You want to look for the negatives, and you want to pretty much read everything and take a look at everything with an open mind. You don't want to hate on the source or hate on the article or whatever the information is because it doesn't agree with your thesis or it doesn't agree with what's in your portfolio. So I want to challenge you guys to do that, to dig a little further, which is exactly why I chose to read this article. Well, not read this article, but to discuss this article, which took a look at Fubo in a negative manner and kind of point out the things that this author was not knowledgeable about when it comes to not only the industry that Fubo competes in, but also in general about Fubo itself. These guys are literally just writing articles. I don't know how they're incentivized, but I'm sure there's some type of incentive for them. They're not always going to be looking for quality. Sometimes it's about quantity as well. If you want more details about this, specifically what I just mentioned, and why these companies allow people to publish articles on their website and all that, you can refer to my video from yesterday. It was a video for beginners and beginning investors, but there's a section in there. Oh, and you guys get to meet my little sister if you watch that video. She's in it. It's a cool video. She's a cool cat, so be sure to check it out if you want to. But yeah, it's got more details. I kind of, explained it in greater detail there, which is why I'm not really explaining it in greater detail now, or in great detail right now. Anyhow, I know we've kind of gotten off topic, so let's get back to the topic at hand, which was, well, we were talking about this partnership, so let me get back to that. Do I think that this will have an adverse effect on Fubo and Fubo's stock price? Yes, I do. In the short term, I do think that it will. And I think that we're seeing that right now. And we did see the stock come down just a little bit more here in the last few trading sessions. And this, just adds to the fire. But here's why you shouldn't be concerned. And again, I'm going to refer you to my previous Fubo video because it goes into greater detail of why you shouldn't be concerned about this. First of all, who are Fubo TV's competitors? Well, if you're talking about the streaming side of things, YouTube TV, yes, they're a competitor. Does YouTube TV do some things better than Fubo TV does? Absolutely. I mean, they're a much bigger company. They've got a lot more resources to work with. So, yeah, naturally, they're going to be a little bit better. But is Fubo focusing mainly on streaming? No, they're not. What Fubo is focusing on is not only streaming, but they're also focusing on the other side of things, which in this case would be their wagering business. And that's what differentiates them, Fubo, from both sides of the competition. So competition as far as from the streaming companies and also competition from the major sports betting companies. So that's how Fubo is unique in this situation, but Fubo is also uniquely positioned here. And the reason that Fubo is uniquely positioned here is because it definitely has the advantage on the sports wagering side of things, because they are a sports first platform. They don't need to be the best sports first platform. They just need to be good enough. And in my opinion, they are good enough. They're going to continue getting better because they're going to continue making more money, and they're going to continue adding to what their offering is. As they continue to improve on that aspect of things, they're going to continue growing. While they are where they are, they're in the lead because they own both their streaming platform and they also own their sports wagering platform. This gives them a lot of flexibility. They are regulated, so this gives them flexibility in terms of being able to offer wagering services on the actual viewing platform where customers are streaming video. So this gives them an advantage because their competitors such as DraftKings, which is one of their, bigger, probably the biggest competitor, isn't doing this, okay? But the fact alone that DraftKings partnered with Dish is validating the technology and what Fubo is trying to do. So this shows us that what Fubo is trying to do is a concern to their competitors, which means that, analysts like Rich Greenfield don't really know what they're talking about, or they're just talking out of their ass. So that's a good sign. That's definitely a positive. When you see other people trying to copy you, it means you're doing something right. Okay, so consider that. But then consider this. Okay, DraftKings is partnering with another company, so it does not own both platforms, which means that there's going to be issues there. DraftKings is also not really a coding company. They don't do all their own coding and programming. Fubo TV does. Okay, so that's how they're able to compete with DraftKings and Dish and that whole side of things. And they're offering, wagering. They're doing that better than that competition. But that's also what separates them from Google and YouTube TV and, T-Mobile, that whole partnership, okay? They're very unique. They're a company like no other right now. Should this change, then we can, talk about some concerns. But as of now, I see no reason for concern. And the fact that they are doing all their programming in-house pretty much tells me that they're going to be able to put out innovative changes before the competition is able to do so. It gives them a major advantage, in my opinion. I used to be a programmer, coder, whatever you want to call it. I used to program apps for Microsoft Windows, for the Windows Phone platform, Windows Phone 8 platform, and also for the Windows 8 and Windows 10 platforms. So I know a thing or two when it comes to that side of things. I know about the challenges that can arise, and this is why I'm so confident in Fubo and in what they're able to do. And if we take a look at, Fubo's financials, I know there has been some concern voiced about these financials, but if you watched my last video, then you know that some of these concerns aren't really warranted. Why did we have a larger than expected negative EPS? Well, that has to do with write-downs, and we're not going to see that next year, so that concern is going to go away. But they've been growing. They've been growing at a consistent pace. So now let's move on to the second implication. I'm going to kind of speed things up here. If you guys want more details, again, go watch that video from yesterday. Or actually, it was earlier today, man. I've been tripping. Anyhow, so the second implication is that an already dominant player in the space, which would obviously be YouTube TV, partnering with T-Mobile is now going to be much stronger and really give Fubo a run for their money. So this kind of goes back to things that I've already said. And, the question here is, well, is Fubo TV really, competing with YouTube TV? I mean, in a way they are, yes, but they are uniquely positioned. They're not just in the streaming business alone. They're in two different, their company is based off of two different, I guess, opportunities. One opportunity would be sports wagering, which is where they're competing with DraftKings and Dish and all that. We've discussed that already. And the other opportunity here is obviously, streaming. But Fubo is very, very much differentiated. While I'm not going to go into heavy details here, people are going to be going with Fubo because of, they're going to want the best of both worlds, not just one or the other. And this is where Fubo is positioned very favorably. Now, I think I'm going to leave it at that due to how long this video is already and because I've covered all these topics in great detail in other videos. So I'm going to leave it at that. I think most of you guys are going to know what I'm talking about. If not, look in the end screen. You're going to see links to my other videos, which will explain this further. But yeah, I honestly don't think we have anything to worry about here with Fubo. It's a great company. I love it. I'm going to be looking for the price to come down even more. I'm going to be hoping that it does. I'm not going to say that it will. I'm going to be hoping that it does. I did say I was going to tell you guys how to play it, which I have told you in other videos. I've not changed how I'm playing Fubo. I'm selling puts on Fubo. And, how you play Fubo depends on, what your current position is in Fubo already. With me, I've already got a pretty large position in Fubo. So I don't necessarily see myself having to go and buy more shares when I can deploy other strategies that will allow me to get shares even cheaper or earn significant, consistent income over time. So that's how I'm playing it. I'm selling puts. If you guys need more details on that, go back to my video from 2 days ago. That'll show you, or that'll tell you, give you more details about selling puts and how I'm playing Fubo. I've got some open contracts right now that have not expired yet. I can tell you this, okay, right now the premium on Fubo on the call side is not very favorable. I don't suggest selling calls right now if you actually want to hold on to your shares because you're just not collecting a lot of premium. All the premium, or a lot of the premium, when I sold last, was on the put side. So I'm going to start taking a look at the premiums here. I haven't had to look because I still have open contracts out. And I know that they've come down in value significantly, which is good, which is what you want to see, which means that you're making money as a option seller. But anyhow, what I'm going to do is start taking a look at the premiums there. And I haven't been paying attention to them as much because, I haven't had to because I have these open contracts. But I'm going to start paying attention to them. And when I see something that, that I think you guys should jump on, and by the way, this is not a recommendation, this is just my opinion, I'm going to make a video, a very quick video because, options are time sensitive. And I'm going to let you guys know, so make sure you pay attention to that. Make sure that you keep an eye open for that. Keep both eyes open. And, smash that like button because you're going to hurt my feelings if you don't. Make sure you subscribe if you're not already subscribed, because when you do subscribe to this channel, you're not just subscribing to a channel, you're joining a family that really gives a care about you, a family that wants you to earn money with them with us. We want you to make money with us, okay? I'm sorry if I'm like getting all tongue twisted here today. It's been a long day, and you know, I just need to hit the sack. But anyways, guys, thank you so much. Stick around for that end screen because it's gonna give you access, or it's going to provide you with links to the rest of the videos that you should be watching. So I thank you very much. I will see you guys in the next video. While I have you here, I wanted to quickly tell you about the brand new First Trade app, available for mobile or PC. The platform will give you access to powerful and easy to use tools and allows you to trade with less restrictions, zero commissions, zero fees, and you can use the first link in the description below to download a free stock today without having to deposit any money. This will greatly help out the channel and is always appreciated. And now back to your regularly scheduled programming. Congrats, ladies and gentlemen, you've made it to the end of the video. If you like what you watched, make sure you subscribe because I put out videos just like this one every single day. And please do me a favor and smash that like button if I helped you in any way, because it really goes a long way in helping the channel out and keeps me motivated to make videos every single day. Now, there's a lot of work involved, a lot of research, and a lot of time and effort into editing and putting these out daily for you guys. You can subscribe from your screen right now. Or if you want to watch one of my other videos, I'm sure YouTube has some good content picked out for you on the left-hand side of your screen now. Thanks for sticking it out with me till the end, and I will see you guys in the next video.